The ocean had never scared me before. Growing up in New York, the closest I got to the water was the Hudson River and summer trips to Coney Island. My parents, however, loved the sea. Every year, they saved up for a trip to somewhere tropical, places with white sand beaches and turquoise waves. Last year, it was Peru. I didn't go. I had school, and I was too old for family vacations. Or so I thought. I'll never forget the day I got the call. A tsunami had struck the Peruvian coast. It came without warning, a wall of water that obliterated villages and swallowed my parents whole. They never found their bodies. After the funeral, an empty casket, a formality more than anything, I thought the nightmares would stop. But they didn't. In my dreams, I saw them standing in the water, their backs to me, silhouetted against a blood-red sunset. The waves lapped at their ankles, creeping higher with every passing second. I screamed for them to come back, but they never turned around. Then came the whispers. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. A faint murmuring, just at the edge of hearing. It followed me everywhere. On the subway, in my apartment, even at work. It got worse at night. Lying in bed, I could hear the whispers turning into words, half-formed and wet, like someone speaking underwater. "Come," they said. "Come to us." I tried to ignore it, to drown it out with music or podcasts, but nothing worked. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I packed a bag and bought a one-way ticket to Peru. The village where my parents had stayed was gone, reduced to rubble and debris scattered along the shore. But the ocean remained, vast and indifferent, stretching endlessly into the horizon. The locals avoided me. They wouldn't meet my eyes when I asked about the tsunami, about my parents. Finally, an old fisherman relented. "The sea took them," he said, his voice low and trembling. "And it doesn't let go." "What do you mean?" I asked. He just shook his head and walked away. That night, I stayed in a crumbling guest house near the beach. The air was thick with salt and decay, the sound of the waves relentless. I couldn't sleep, so I walked to the shore, the sand cool under my bare feet. The whispers were louder here. "Come," they urged. "Come to us." The water was black and still, reflecting the moon like a sheet of glass. I waded in, the cold, shocking against my skin. I told myself I was just looking for closure, that maybe I'd find something. A piece of clothing, a photograph, anything to prove my parents had been here. But as I moved deeper, the whispers grew deafening, overlapping, into a cacophony of voices. "Lila," one of them said. "My name." I froze. The water around me rippled, though there was no wind. Shadows moved beneath the surface, too large, too fast to be fish. "Lila," the voice called again. And this time, I saw them. My parents, standing waist-deep in the water, their faces pale and bloated, eyes wide and unblinking. Their mouths moved, but the words didn't match. "Come with us," they said in unison. I stumbled backward, the waves pulling at my legs like hands. "This isn't real," I whispered. But it was. The shadows beneath the surface rose, taking shape, twisting, writhing forms that defied logic. Tentacles, eyes, mouths full of jagged teeth. The thing in the water wasn't the ocean. It was something in the ocean. Something vast and ancient and hungry. My parents' faces twisted, their features elongating and dissolving into the dark. The thing spoke again, not with words, but with the crushing weight of its presence. "Stay," it said. "Join them." I turned and ran, the water dragging at me, cold and alive. Somehow I made it back to shore, collapsing onto the wet sand, gasping for air. When I looked back, the water was calm, as though nothing had happened, but the whispers didn't stop. Even now, back in New York, I hear them. Late at night, when the city quiets down, I feel the pull of the ocean, the promise of something waiting just beneath the surface. I don't think I can resist it much longer.